Yo, so the opinions and views expressed in this podcast are that of our own and the future Bachelor podcast only, and not affiliated with any outside party or entity or anything like that. This fun podcast, though, may include some adult language.
Future Bachelor podcast.
But V, why don't we get into some Bachelor stuff here? Because it's that time to talk about Bachelor stuff on our show.
Indeed.
Yeah, but before we get into Bachelor stuff on our show, YouTube, go ahead, subscribe, smash that thumbs up button, hit that notification bell so you can get notified every time we drop new Bachelor content, just like this. And if you just did, huge shout out to you.
God.
Air horns for you. Well, Veronica, where do we start? A lot of Bachelor Nation news coming out, but where do you want to begin?
Well, there's been released a list of, and pictures, like there are little pictures that they take at home, of the potential cast for Rachel and Gabby's season. We always get these nowadays, for like probably the past couple of years. We've been able to get like kind of these early release lists because, it's not gonna, right now it's 35 and it might be trimmed down to closer to 30, which is still like, I feel like feels a little iffy. We'll have to see what that looks like with two women, going at the same pool of men, even though they did come from just like going after the same dude. I just don't know what that's going to look like that way. As long as these men aren't deciding who stays and who doesn't, that's already a step in the right direction. But, the bar is in hell.
It is kind of unfair though that they got to split the men.
Yeah, it's completely unfair. It's totally.
We'll talk about more injustice for women that the Bachelor's been having lately, but later on in the show. But this is just another example.
Yeah, I mean, they're not new to this. They're true to this with that bit, but so far, our women are 31. Gabby's 31. Rachel's 26. And it looks like right now the youngest dudes are around 24, which actually there's a set of twins, Justin and Joey from Brookfield, Connecticut. There is several.
Wait a second. So this is a new thing. They got twins?
They've got some.
Well, this is not the first time we've had twins.
That's not the first time. There was the twins on I think that was Ari's season, right? Where there was the twins.
Wow.
Emily and Haley. Yeah.
That's also a fun.
They're both getting married right now to separate people, and they both had a combined bachelorette party.
Wow.
In Vegas because they live there. But
twins. Yeah, it's just an interesting new trick to throw into the show because that's just an awesome element to see like what happens with twins, Will one pick one and one pick the other? What if they like the same twin?
Yeah, especially with like there being two, or is like, are they both going to be interested in one girl, or like who's to say? Because before when there was twins, they were both going after the same guy. So that's
I feel like they're going to be able to give these guys opportunities to. I don't know. Maybe do you think this time around they'll make the guys pick which girl they're gonna go for? Not like vote for them, but like pick them to go for.
If I'm gonna compare this to Joe Millionaire, which I am, Joe Millionaire for Richer for Poorer, which just recently finished up. You can watch it on Hulu, whatever. They had two dudes, and the whole premise was that one was rich, one was not so rich, and they had one pool of women. And over the course of like their dates and whatever, they had a couple of women who were, they were both interested in / those women were interested in both of them. And when it came down to like some of the final weeks or episodes or whatever the timeline looks like, it got to a point where they had to either pick like if they wanted to stick with one dude or another, or they could like, I guess for a certain amount of time, they could say, I guess for a week, they could say like, no, like I'm going to just keep exploring both options and let them like kind of have them figure that out. So I don't know if they're going to do something with that for
I
them.
think they'll
Like
let
later,
them do that because that like gives the opportunity for people's true colors to come out. Like you say
Well-
one thing to one and you say the other, and then they like canoodle behind their back.
I mean, I don't know if they were to make them like now you have to choose like if you're only going after one, like which one you want to go after. I feel like they won't make them do that until people are farther down the line so I'm guessing it's going to be like similar to which I watched on Joe Millionaire. They had like it was like kind of like a collaborative decision making process for like elimination. So it's probably going to be similar for Gabby and Rachel at the beginning.
There's so many logistics to work out here, like the rose ceremony and all that stuff. Like, I don't know. Like, it just is it not going to be even? Like, what if one has like 4 girls and the other one has like, or if one has 4 guys and the other one has like all the rest of them?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
that wouldn't I wouldn't feel good about being one of the girls, But maybe they're perfectly picking them to like already be enough for this girl and enough for that girl. Like the ones that which one are you interested in? They're putting them into batches and stuff. So,
yeah, I mean, yeah, because I'm guessing, yeah, I'm very interested. There's a couple of guys that are from my hometown of Naperville, Illinois, so that's always fun. I mean, nobody's sticking out to me that I've seen thus far. Like, there hasn't been a ton of course, a couple of Chicago guys. A lot of guys from Chicago, Nashville, Texas, typical, that kind of vibe. One of them looks kind of like he might be pegged as the actor type. Who's to say? I mean, I feel like we can't really tell until we get a little bit closer because especially not all of these guys are legit locked in yet. One guy's from Alpharetta, though, up, a little bit north of us of Atlanta. But
anybody that stands out to you already that you think is a cutie?
A lot of them look so basic. I don't know. I'm like clicking through. A lot of the white guys look the same. So I can't really like. Oh, Quincy's kind of cute for Miami.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just a good photo.
It's just very interesting when these guys drop, like the new cast drops. You just kind of see these faces. It's hard to pick like who really stands out because like you'll be like, oh, this is a good looking person, but then a couple slides later, you're like, oh, that's a really good looking person, like and then you
I
just
feel
get
like
lost
it's always hard to tell from just the photos too. Like you have to wait until like they're actually like on the screen, like moving, and talking. Like to see like, cause I feel like even when I was like looking at Michelle's cast of dudes, I remember being like, all these dudes are ugly. And then when they got on the screen, some of them I was like, oh, actually you're super cute. Like you're really attractive. Like, why did I think looking at your picture that you weren't cute? So.
Well, I'm sure we'll find out more about these men. Maybe have some follow-ups, some dirty tea or something like that comes out in the next week. Now that they've been announced,
dirty tea.
Some dirty tea.
Dirty tea.
Yeah. Well, what else we got for Bachelor Nation stuff?
So obviously, as we know, it was announced that Jesse is going to be the host of this double-led Bachelorette season, which feels a little out of place, especially since we just had the last 2 seasons with double women hosts. So you would almost think that would make the most sense. But I guess, Tayshia and Kaitlyn were in discussions-ish for that, but I think they just went with Jesse instead, which, I mean, I thought he was a good host, but I think I agree. Kaitlyn's all like, I want to be there with the girls, and I think I bring a perspective, like me and Tayshia bring perspectives that Jesse can't, and like, can support them in a way that he can't. And I tend to agree. I think it would be a different vibe for sure. The thing is though, like I will say, of course Kaitlyn says that because she wants to be in front of, like she was like right there at the franchise and it was pulled away from her. Everyone wants to be the face of something that big, right? But I mean, we do know that it works as far as having one host run through all the seasons. I mean, yeah.
And then also, I really can't say that Jesse was any more like supportive of Clayton he would be to like women too.
Well, from what I know, they're bros.
Of course they're bros, but like, you know, anything that we saw on the show, like there wasn't anything special that he was.
I mean, yeah, we only saw a bit on the show, but I mean, all the stuff that we don't see on the show is like what I'm like. I know like how close, you know, like Tayshia and Michelle stuff got. Like I think it just kind of is different.
Yeah. Well, maybe they can get you know, advice from producers who have been through a bunch of bachelorettes and know how it works. I just think what the problem is here is, and I do wonder if there might be like a lawsuit or something in here somewhere, but just because, you know, oh man, sorry, my family's calling me on all my devices too. Jeez. Yeah, and
oh my God.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, essentially, you know, with them being the host of the Bachelorettes, they weren't actually hosts. They were more of, what were they considered? They were considered like guests, like they were special. I
mean, they were still considered like the host, but they at first, like, I think
they were never given the title of host.
I think in the wake of Chris Harrison, they weren't going to call them hosts, but they were like considered like confidants or like whatever.
So they probably weren't even having to pay them like as full hosts. You know,
which is bullshit.
Well, yeah, sure, but there's two of them now too. So there's two people they would have to pay to be the host, and it just seems better off to just, you know, you guys were there in the middle where we had to figure out what we're gonna do with our hosts, and you know, they just realized that they'd rather do this as opposed to that. And I don't know, maybe it's also ratings too. Like maybe people are just not interested. It's all like the numbers thing, I think too. So as far as Kaitlyn goes, like that, it kind of fell apart, you know, with Tayshia. Like she was kind of like booted out, I believe, because, you know, her relationship was kind of failing through the franchise and stuff. And now with you know, I don't think they think Kaitlyn can handle the show herself. So yeah, I think Jesse is the safe bet to move forward, especially if I was happy with him as a host, as a viewer.
I thought he was fine.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't really, I don't know.
I mean, that's the way I feel about the two women hosts on the last season. So,
I mean, I think from the perspective of like, obviously, I think Jesse was good for being with Clayton, but I think like I get the perspective of being like, it would be good to have someone like a Kaitlyn or a Tayshia for
it just doesn't make sense for them to do that. Like, it's like you both are not with the men from your season. You don't have good advice on that. Like, you know,
I mean, he's not with any of the women from his season either. So,
but I'm just saying that he's not being picked.
Host.
I'm talking strictly on the fact that Kaitlyn thinks that she would be a great like person to help out people. Jesse's not coming in there trying to help people. He's trying to be there to be the host of the franchise. So that's the difference.
I guess so. But yeah. I mean, he's also there to be supportive to the lead.
I mean, whatever. I don't see him coming in here and being like, that's my gig. My gig is to host this thing and to make it entertaining. Kaitlyn is coming in it from this angle, which she's pretty graceful about like spelling out. But yeah, it's just like we've gone through many Bachelorette seasons without you. We can do it again. You know, that's kind of like where I think they're at. So yeah, I mean, it's just, I wonder where it goes for Kaitlyn and Tayshia and like what their careers, you know, they were given a boost.
Obviously, Kaitlyn's coming off of being on tour with Dancing with the Stars. So I think probably that timeline would be a little tight anyways. As well as she did say like, you know, like this actually gives me time to like be with Jason and like plan our wedding and all of that stuff. So, I mean, probably it all will work out for the best.
Sure. Well, yeah. I mean, anything else going on out there?
Yeah. So Colton was talking about how they were going to do a TV wedding, but then they decided to not do that idea because they weren't getting money for it.
Am I frozen for you?
Yes, you are.
Oh, well, my voice will still keep going on this weird ass face. So.
Yeah, I mean, as long as I'm not frozen for you, it's okay.
No, I'm not frozen, but yeah, keep going. Sorry.
But yeah, no. But yes, so, they weren't getting money or whatever for it, or they weren't, it was going to be a lot. And it definitely, I think it's probably for the best. I think he's overloaded us with the content about him. And his journey to coming out and all that jazz, and I just think
I feel like he's trying to make a check or something off this.
He is trying.
What is his problem? I don't get it. Like, this is sad. Like,
and he's all like, "I've been there, done that with my life, and there's moments now that I'm keeping private."
It's almost like he thinks he's a Kardashian or something like that.
I'm like, bro, yeah. You've like made people's lives living hell for periods of time. Like, I think it's bullshit, but okay.
Well, good luck with that, man. Get your money if you can. What else we got? Anything else?
Also, Michelle Young is going to be the official co-host with Becca Kufrin of Bachelor Nation's Bachelor Happy Hour. So congrats to her. She's getting her time to shine. But I just, I hope it's for the best, because
who's past host for that? Who is she taking over?
I mean, back in the day, Rachel Lindsay was part of that, and then like before that, I think it was Tayshia, and then like I think Tia and stuff like moved her way, or whoever. It was like it kind of is these past couple of months or so. I think they've been in the interim after Tayshia.
What is the one with like Joe and her and Natasha?
That's Clickbait.
Oh, okay, so she has 2 podcasts.
I guess so.
Jeez. Well, if you got it like that. Well, yeah. That's cool. Well, yeah. I mean, that's essentially like what we got for Bachelor Nation news. Like, I mean, there's going to probably be more stuff to talk about the guys next week. And, there's always more rumors and things going on with these cast members. But this is kind of what we're going to be doing in between. We get a new season of Bachelorette coming up here soon. And then after that, well, there are talks of Bachelor in Paradise is coming back this year. So we'll probably have that coming down the line as well.
I mean, we got that vibe, I think, from just even how people have performed on these past couple of seasons. I know there was rumors that they might not come back or whatever. Mike Fleiss has been trying to shut those down. I don't think with the kind of personalities with how they cast for these shows, I don't think they would give up Paradise that easily, just because I think it probably, I
want to know which one of those losers are the ones that watch Bachelor and Bachelorette but don't watch Bachelor in Paradise. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the ones that are like, oh, I don't watch that. I'm just here for the Bachelor. What? Dude, that is crazier than sitting around like all year to get to Bachelor in Paradise, because that's where the good stuff's at.
Right.
I feel
right.
Like.
My thing is like, I feel like the reward for having all the context and going through the like arduous seasons of some of these last seasons have been of like Bachelor or Bachelorette, is to see the payoff of who they bring to Paradise and how dumb they all get. Like, I just think that's the payoff for me personally.
Well,
it's knowing too much, is having the context to be able to watch it all.
Exactly. Well, that's what we're here for. If you need a little recap, we got you. So yeah, that's our Bachelor talk this week.
Future Bachelor Podcast.